Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about a sentence. We're going to talk about an 8-month sentence that has prompted so many different discussions. And we're going to try to hit a couple of them in one video because it has sparked conversations about fairness, justice, what our justice system is supposed to be, and what people can expect. Let's start with that last one first, because there's a lot of people who are viewing an 8-month sentence. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the first person, of course, it's a Florida man, who was sentenced for a felony charge for their actions on the 6th at the Capitol, got 8 months. And people are like, is this all they can expect? No. The court basically said this person was a selfie seditionist. Okay? They didn't break anything, didn't engage in any acts of violence. They walked inside, took some selfies, and were there about 15 minutes and then left. They're getting 8 months for that. Most people will not get that sentence because this person pled guilty very early, and the court looks favorably upon that because it shows acceptance of responsibility. This person had no criminal history to speak of, and this person didn't engage in any of the more serious acts. And because we do not engage in collective punishment in this country, at least we're not supposed to, his sentence was relatively light. This isn't what people are looking at. They're looking at much, much more. His was the exception. 8 months is the floor. That's where they're going to start, at bare minimum. Now, from there, we have the question of fairness and whether or not it's justice. To me, what's actually going to happen to this person? 8 months, so they'll go away for 8 months. During this time, they'll lose their job, probably lose their car, place of residence, definitely be financial strain, and be saddled with a felony conviction for the rest of their life. That kind of seems reasonable to me. But then you have the question of fairness, because people can point to those who voted before they were all the way off parole and the time they're looking at. Or they can point to Mark, who got 3 years for 2 plants. Or they can point to Malik, who got 5 years for the same 2 plants, but he got sentenced to more time because his name's Malik. And there's a discrepancy, and it begs for a whataboutism type of argument. I really don't like those arguments because they come across to me as the 8-month sentence should be longer. But that's not what it says to me. See, we have to determine as society what we want our prisons to be, what we want our justice system to be. Is it restorative? Is it rehabilitative? Are we just separating people until they're no longer a threat to the rest of society? Or is it punishment? And I think for a lot of people, it's punishment. That's not how I view it. I can't look at Mark and Malik's sentence and say because they got an unjust sentence, this person should go away for longer. Because that's not what it says to me. 8 months seems reasonable for this. So for Mark and Malik to have done nothing to anybody, that means they should be at home. I don't want to live in a society where the justice system is based on vengeance. That doesn't seem like justice to me. It seems like it's just retribution. And I'm sure there's a place for that, but it's not the world I want to live in. To me, these other sentences, these other things that are being held up, to me, they're plainly unjust. So I can't use them as an example to say this person needs a longer sentence. I can use the 8-month sentence to say these people should be at home because they weren't really a threat to society. We have a mass incarceration issue in this country. We have higher rates of incarceration than pretty much anywhere in the world. And it's probably due to locking people up that don't really need to be locked up, or locking them up for too long. I get the whataboutism, and it makes sense because it isn't fair. When that argument is made, make sure that it aligns with what you really believe. Not just that you're angry. Not just that you want punishment. Because yeah, if it's about vengeance, 8 months, that's not enough. But if it's about rehabilitation, if it's about restorative justice, if it's about these other things, then it's completely reasonable. If you don't want a society based on vengeance, when you make this comparison, make sure that you're making it clear that Mark and Malik should be at home. Not that Florida man should do 20 years. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.